The homework.
Say it again.
Never mind.
Okay. Yeah, the homework. All right, so let's begin. We was on paper 2. So let's continue. Okay, so this one says below is the addition wall. Fill in the values in the two bricks that are blank. So these bricks was originally blank, and we had to fill it out. So the idea is that if you notice, we have. Did I begin the recording? Oh, okay. I forget to start the way I normally do. This is day 3, week 17, spring
I go.
2020. Yeah. You know, is it just me or this week just going too fast?
Yeah.
I just feel like I was trying to figure out how did they get Wednesday already. That means tomorrow is Thursday, which is our last day. Like, wow. Anyway,
Good news, all good news.
good news. Until Sunday, which is that marathon. Oh boy, I need to get ready for Sunday. I don't know how to feel about Sunday.
Why do you do that?
Go marathon.
I don't get why you do that, you know?
Yeah. My Sunday boy, Sunday. Sunday class, I mean. Okay, so the way we do this at 2 plus 3 is 5. 4 plus 3, 3 plus 4 is 7, sorry. 6 plus 4, 4 and 6, sorry, is 10. 5 plus 7 is 12. And 7 and 10 is 17. And 12 and 17 is 29. Right? As I go through it, just take the screenshots. You wouldn't have enough time to write it down. Okay? Alright, any questions on how we got the 17 and the 29? All we did was add the 7 and the 10 to get the 17, and the 12 and the 17 to get the 29. Any questions on that?
At first, when I saw it, I thought it was like a part. No, we have to add this amount of numbers, but then I realized just adding to get the quarter of them.
Yeah, certainly. Alright, next up is write down the next two numbers in the sequence. If we look at this, right, this is 12, and the idea here is we just add in 3. Okay, to each one to get the um other number. So this is negative 12 plus 3 gives us negative 9. Negative 9 plus 3 gives us negative 6. Negative 6 plus 3 gives us negative 3. Negative 3 plus 3 gives us 0. And 0 plus 3 gives us 3. So the next two numbers in the sequence would be 0 and 3. And that's how we would do that. Moving on. This one says we have the set of natural numbers less than 10. That is the universal set of natural numbers less than 10. And then P is the set of prime numbers less than 10. And so P is going to be all the prime numbers less than 10. And then Q is going to be all the even numbers less than 10. So it says list the numbers represented by the following letters. So what should be F? Well, F is in the prime numbers, all the prime numbers less than 10. So it's going to be 2, 3. The next prime number that's missing is 5, and then also 7. So that's why F is 7. And then we have G. G is supposed to be 8. The reason why G is 8 is because for Q we're looking at all the natural numbers. Sorry, all the even numbers less than 10. So that's going to be 2, 4, 6, and 8. But we do not consider 0 because 0 is not a natural number. That's why G is 8. And then let me allow this person to come in. And then if we consider H, well, H is going to be 1. The reason why H is 1 is because if you look carefully, we're looking at all the natural numbers less than 10. So we have 3, we have 2, we have 7, we have 5, we have 2, we have 4, we have 6, we have 8, we have 9. The only number that we missed that is less than 10 and is a natural number is 1. So that's why H is 1. Say it again. Say it again.
Emma, I was going to ask if you could zoom out for me to take a full picture, but I get it.
Okay, good. Any questions on this? Okay, good stuff. So describe the set Q, right? So Q, we already said that before. That's gonna be even numbers less than 10. All right, even numbers less than 10. That's what Q is. We can even say, I don't know why I didn't say it. But what it really is, I know P is prime numbers less than 10, but we can even say even natural numbers less than 10. That would be even more right. I wonder if I should say that. I mean, it still would be right, but even numbers less than 10, I'll say even natural numbers less than 10. That's that's like more accurate. Even natural numbers less than 10. Okay, good. So that's what Q is. The set Q, because you have 2, 4, 6, and 8. All right, so next question says a plane left Nassau at 8:45. It arrived in Abaco 35 minutes later. At what time did the plane arrive in Abaco? So it left Nassau at 8:45. It arrived 35 minutes later. What time did it arrive at Abaco? Any answers to that one?
Hello.
What time did it arrive in Abaco? Any answers yet? We left at 8:45. We arrived 35 minutes later. What time we arrived in Abaco? No one yet? No? Okay. Well, that's continue. Let me show it. So the way how we do this is we separated from hours to minutes, and so we have 8 hours and 45 minutes, and then we just have 35 minutes added to that. 5 plus 5 is going to be 10, so we put the 0 down, put the 1 up. 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 1 is 8, so it's going to be 80 minutes. And then 8 plus 0 is 8, so we are left with 8 hours, right? We are left with 8 hours and 80 minutes. Let me zoom backwards so we have a good feel of it, so you can see everything. So we left with 8 hours and 80 minutes, but we know that 80 minutes we can separate that into 60 minutes and 20 minutes. But we know that 60 minutes is an hour, so we are left with 8 hours plus 1 hour plus 20 minutes. 8 hours plus an hour is 9 hours, and then we left with 20 minutes. So he arrived, or the plane arrived rather, at 9:20 a.m. Okay, so that's how we do it. Any questions on how we got to 9:20? Okay. Okay, question number 4B. Mr. Jones arrived
No,
at
sir.
Okay, no problem. Mr. Jones arrived at Nassau Airport at 7:30 a.m. How many minutes did he have to wait before the plane left for Abaco?
I can take a screenshot of the top one, please.
No problem.
I got it.
Okay. So Mr. Jones arrived at Nassau Airport at 7:30 a.m. How many minutes did he have to wait before the plane left for Abaco? Um. So remember, the plane left at 8:45. That's what they say. But he came there at 7:30. Okay, so the plane left at 8:45, but he came there earlier. He came 7:30. So that means he had to wait before the plane left. So the question is, how much minutes he had to wait? And they say how much minutes now. That's why they have it in bold. How much minutes did he have to wait before the plane left for Abaco? And so all you're doing is subtracting. Um, we have 45 on the minute side and 8 hours on the hour side, and so and we're gonna subtract that from 7 hours. We're gonna subtract that with 7 hours and 30 minutes, and so we have 5 minus 0, which is 5. 4 minus 3 is 1, so that's 15 minutes. And then 8 minus 7 is 1. So we had to wait 1 hour and 15 minutes before he left from Nassau to go to Abaco. So he reached there an hour and 15 minutes earlier. Now, but they said he won the answer in minutes. So we have to take this hour, and we know that this hour is 60 minutes. So 1 hour is 60 minutes, so that's going to be 60 minutes, and then we keep the 15 minutes. So that's going to be 60 minutes plus 15 minutes. And 60 plus 15 is 75 minutes. So we had to wait 75 minutes before the plane left for Abaco. Any questions on that? Any questions? Let me know.
No, so.
No? Okay, that's good. All right. So 75 minutes is how long you had to wait. Anyone had to wait that long or longer for a plane? Whatever happened there?
I waited 2 hours.
Waited 2
I'd
hours.
be
Yes,
there from
sir.
6 o'clock and the plane ain't leaving till 9.
Yes,
What?
sir.
What? That's what, 3
He's
hours?
there that dead early, bro. I don't know why.
Exactly.
Wow.
And then they tell you that the flight is delayed, so we
Exactly. That was
let you
hurtful.
know.
Exactly. You be there early and then the flight get delayed 5 times.
Wow.
Be rushing to get there and plane.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, hey, it's better early than late.
Waking up 4:30 in the morning to get there for the flight to be delayed.
Yeah, yeah. But look at it the bright side. I mean, hey, at least you ain't late. Because if you're late and you miss it, that's worse, in my opinion. So I don't mind waking up early
Indeed.
as long as I do not miss that flight. Boy. As long as I don't miss that flight. I never miss a flight in my life. And so that's
Don't jinx yourself.
I ain't gonna jinx myself because I could be there earlier. That's why. Excuse me, one moment. That's why even for the exam, I told you, I said, listen, come there. You better be early. Better use the one who opened the door than to be there late. Cause you don't want to be there late, man. No, man, can't be there late. Um, it's better to be 5 hours early than to be 5 hours late. So that's not hard. So Mr. Jones makes $200 profit. Sorry, $250 profit. Sorry, someone is asking to join. Okay. Sorry. Mr. Jones makes $250 profit when he sells a computer for $2,250. So the question is, what is the cost price of the computer? So how much did he buy the computer for? But he made $250 profit. So in order to find the cost price, we have to subtract 2,250 by 250, and we get 2,000. So that's how we get the cost.
Listen to you.
Yes, ma'am.
You go up one more time for me to take a screenshot. Hold up.
What is that?
Listen. Alright, you good on now.
Okay. All right, so yeah, so oh, by the way, Nancy,
Yes, sir.
it's your question right there. Do B. Do B.
B.
Yeah, do B. Before I should answer.
Calculate the profit Mr. Jones made as a percentage
Percentage
of
of
the
the
cost.
cost price.
Okay.
Oh, you heard how hard just now.
I heard that. Okay, I ain't should answer. So the question she always is a mix up, but let's see if she get it this
It
time.
looks like it's like
It's
teaching.
just correlate with question A, right?
Yeah, correlate questioning. So
Okay.
everyone understand how we got A, right? That isn't a surprise, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, so
He make $250 profit. So
yeah.
if he make $250 profit and he sell it for 2,250, then that means his cost is 2,000 because he make $250 from it. So that's how we get that. But I want y'all to do B before I should answer. What is the profit that he make as a percentage of the cost price? So calculate the profit as a percentage of the cost price. This question people always get mixed up. Calculate the profit as a percentage of the
I
cost
getting
price.
a somewhat decimal. Is that right?
What's your answer? Final answer.
Um. Okay, I do it by hand. So I put 25. I mean, 250 over 2,000,
Mm-hmm.
and I times it by 100. I do it by hand. So I don't know if the
Okay, the computation is right. Okay, well the good thing is that at least
and then I get 12.5.
12.5%.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? Calculate the profit as a percentage of the cost price.
Is the sequence right? Like, as in,
Is what you did right? Yes, what you did is right. Now is the
oh, I thought it
question.
was going to be 250 to the 2050 part. I thought that was going to be
Uh-uh.
the one I would have used.
No, but then they say profit. So we know the profit was 250. So it's gonna be profit as a percentage of the cost price. So that's profit divided by cost price multiplied by 100. And what we do here, all I did was I canceled. So I canceled the zeros. So I canceled this 0 with that 0, this 0 with that 0, and the one on top with the one at the bottom. And so that leaves me with 25 over 2, 25 over 2 times 1 over 1. So I'm left with 25 over 2, and 25 over 2 is indeed 12.5. And so the percentage as a cost as the cost price, sorry, the profit as a percentage of the cost price is 12.5%. So that means that he made about 12% of how much it actually costs. Okay, so it costs 2,000. He made 12%, about 12% of 2,000, which is about 250. Okay, so that's B. Any questions on
Isn't that good?
you think
Depending on.
is it good? That's a good question. You think it's good?
Yeah, I think it's high.
You think it's high? Um, I'd say it depends on and we talked about this before. I don't know if y'all can remember. It depends on his turnover rate, right? That's what it depends on, whether it's good or bad. Okay. Because with this question the question didn't say when he bought it and when he sold it. So you can imagine he bought this thing. Let's say you have a store, right? He bought this thing in 2015. He sell it in 2020. Like, come on now. Your shop got to be better than that. Like, if you bought the thing in 2015, you got to sell it in 2015. You understand what I'm saying? So, if it took him 5 years to sell this, you know, and he only made $250, that ain't really good. But if he bought it in, if he bought it in May, and he sold it in May, that's good. And not only that, if he if this is done if this is not the only thing that you have in his shop, let's say you have like 5 of these, and every week he sells like 2. You know what I mean? That's 450 every week. That's good. So it depends on the turnover rate, how quickly he's able to sell them. That's what determines whether it's actually good. You understand what I mean, Nancy? All right. Any questions on this before I move?
For sure.
Okay. Good. Speak now of rebuttal.
Listen, you guys put a lot of these on the BJC exam.
Why, you scared of it? It's scaring you?
No,
Okay.
I guess no.
It has come handy, they like to bring it, but if they bring it once, they ain't got another question on it. You know what I mean? So they got like 3 questions on the rest of it. They just bring it once. A boat has a triangular sail with base 5 meters and height 3 meters. So this is our base, a base of 5 meters, and this is our height, a height of 3 meters. Remember that the height is always perpendicular to the base. That means they always form a right angle with each other. So calculate the area of the sail. So the sail is a triangle. How would we find the area of this triangular sail? Anyone have any ideas?
Base time height.
Say it again. Base times height
Over 2?
divided by 2. Very good. So area of the triangular sail is going to be equal to base times height divided by 2.
Listen, BT,
Yes,
I have
sir.
a question.
Yes,
I
sir.
got it.
Length and height is the same or no?
Length and height?
Yeah.
No. Length and height is not the same thing. Height is always, height refers to a triangle. Length refers to a rectangle.
Alright.
Okay, remember that. Okay, so the base here is 5 meters. All right, that's what they tell us. Base is 5. Height is 3 meters. They tell us that. So we're gonna do 5 times 3, which is what? 15 meters squared. And then we divide that by 2, which equals to what? 7.5
5.
meters squared. All right, so that's how we get that. All right, any questions for me?
No, sir.
All right. Okay. Moving right along, let's do B. So the answer is 7.5 meters squared. Don't forget
Did I
meters
get?
squared.
Yeah.
Pardon?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I get the screenshot.
So what happens if you don't put the square to? Will they either give you a half point or they marked it wrong?
They might just give you 1 mark. But or sometimes for area they would check for units. So yeah, either 1 point. I don't know if they can mark it entirely wrong because it's sort of 2 points. So you could get something, but you won't get full marks if you miss the meters squared, I would think. So don't miss the meters squared because that's area. That's one of the defining characteristics of area. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Someone is asking something.
Okay, if you don't add the square, would that be like a different number?
What?
Okay, as in m squared, meaning that if I were to move the square, wouldn't it still be the same number or?
It will still be 7.5. But then it'll be 7.5 meters. But that don't make no sense because area is not 1-dimensional. Area is 2-dimensional. So you can't have 7.5 meters as area. See what I'm saying? Hello?
Hello.
Okay. I was meaning Nancy.
Yes.
Oh yes, sorry. I thought you meant thought you just never mind, sorry.
Okay, so we good
Yeah.
with this?
Yes, so
Okay, good. So material for the sale costs $8.50 per square meter. So for every square meter, we have to pay $8.50. But we have 7.5 square meters. So calculate the cost of the material used to make the sale. So how are we going to do that?
multiply
Multiply
Multiply what?
We're gonna multiply.
850 times 7.5.
Very good. Multiply 850 by 7.5. And so that's going to be, so the cost of the material is going to be $8.50 multiplied by 7.5. And that gives us $63.75. We just multiply these two. All right, so that's that. Okay, next we have ratio questions. They love ratio questions.
Yes.
Angela, Suzanne, and Peter share 1,800 acres of land. Wow. What?
That's huge.
That's plenty. That ain't a little bit of land. That's plenty. That's wow. That's a
What you can do with all that land?
wow. They can.
That's small things, man. That's
That's
small
not small
things.
things. You know, it's 1,800 acres.
I own that already, so let's just calm
Oh,
down.
okay.
That's
All
small
right.
things.
All right. All right. Yes. Yes. You're right.
Next month.
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. All right. You're right, Queen Elizabeth. All right. All right, Queen Elizabeth. All right. Angelica, Suzanne, Peter share 1,800 acres of land in the ratio 3 to 2 to 4. How many acres of land will Peter receive? All right. There's different ways to do this. What way do you suggest that we do this?
The way I do it
The
is,
first way.
Go ahead.
what I was saying is what I did. You're supposed to have like Peter, since Peter's the last one and
Yeah.
4 is the last number, right?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be 4. You're supposed to add up all the ratio and
Yes.
it'd be 4 over 4 plus 3 is 7. 4 over 9 times 1800.
Okay, that's one way to do it. Yeah, we could do it like that. That's 4 over 9 times 1800.
Or you could just add them up, divide them by the 800, and then you get one share, and you just multiply it by the number of individual shares.
Okay. Yeah, that's another way to do it. The way I chose to do it is the way that Nancy said. What I try to figure out is I try to figure out what was one equal part. And so that mean that what I did was I add them up. I know that I have to take 1,800 acres and I have to divide it into 9 shares. Alright? Because this is 3 plus 2 plus 4. Alright? So I have to divide it into 9 shares. Once I do that, right? That's 1,000 divided by 9. That'll give me 200 acres. That means one share or one equal part is 200. But Peter received 4 shares, right? Or 4 equal parts. So I'm going to take that 4 and multiply it by 200. Okay, that gives us 800. Or we could do like how Lionel suggested. That's a way, which is simply saying, and this is the way how my teacher taught me how to do it when I was in grade 8. She was like, okay, do 4 over 9 and multiply that by 1,800. That would also give you 800 as well. If you simplify it, you would see that like give you 800. So there's different ways to skin the cat. You choose your way.
I get a screenshot, please.
No problem. I'm there right now. Right. Okay, can I move on?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so 800 acres is the amount of land that Peter will receive, which is still a whole lot. Peter has 800 acres. My goodness. All right. 6 books cost $9.24. Calculate the cost of one book. What would that be? Oh, I can't.
You dividing, Mr. Petite.
Oh,
You're doing
oh,
multiplying.
I did it so wrong. Okay, this is so
Oh
wrong.
wow.
This is what
Told
ladies
you,
do.
that's one book. One book is
One book.
924.
All right,
Listen,
we gotta do it together then. All right, so boy. Okay, so 6 plus cost 924. Okay, the cost of one book, so 6 divided by 924, right? Okay, so let's do this.
Sir.
Gee, that's so embarrassing. Wow. That was just a test. I just inserted there just to test y'all and make sure y'all.
I know that's a test. I look like a huge exam, way bigger than Bgcse.
You're right. You're right, Cooper. I mean, this
Mr.
Indeed.
Petite, it's all right. One book costs 924. We understand.
6 plus cost 924. Okay, cost one. Okay, so 6. All right, so we're dividing it. So I want to divide it. The division sign is the fraction. Okay, so that's why I have it like that. So the way I'm going to divide this, and so I'm going to um, multiply top and bottom by 100.
Yeah, 154.
The 154. It can't be
I
150.
agree.
It can't be 154.
Not
I
100.
get, I get 55.44.
55.44. Can't be possible.
Didn't they say how much the cost of one book?
Yeah, it costs of one book.
So you get a different.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna multiply
I
top
get
and
$1.54.
Me too?
okay, good.
Exactly.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm going to, like I said, I'm gonna multiply both top and bottom by 100. What that will do for me is that would change this guy into, it's gonna be equal to, well, at least I got to see how I make these things in real life. It's a lot of plugging and chugging. That's why I hate doing them. It's
Day in
fun.
the life of Mr. Petite.
Day in life. Day in life. It's fun, you know. It's just
So it ain't $1.54?
we doing it now, Miss Cooper. More than likely you're right, as usual.
Not all the time.
So it's gonna be 9.
I still think the answer is 55.44.
You still think so? Okay, so we'll prove.
Me too. What?
Even though
How though?
my side answer is $1.54, but my convinced answer is
It's
54.44.
wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
That don't make no sense though.
I agree with her though.
That don't make no sense. I can't. In a way, it's 55.4. No way. All right. So okay. So we have to actually divide these things. So
Listen to you, I do it the long way.
turn the long way. I mean the right way. I know.
You mean the Bgcse way?
Why you doing it so long?
Yeah, the long way. That's the right way.
I just do it one little quickly.
Quickie, like they say, the quickie.
Yeah, that's one little, you doing all of that.
Oh my. All right, so 600 inside here, and then we have what is it? 924.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so 600 goes into 924 once, right? And so if we move all these stuff around, we need them. Okay. I can't believe I multiplied. Wow. Man. You always have to check your work. So 600. Alright, good. So once you subtract these two.
Mr. Putti, I supposed to ask you, I forget to ask you it yesterday. Do they take off marks on the paper too if you spell words incorrectly?
No. No, they don't take
No?
off. No. No. That was really bad. If it's really bad.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but like them petty stuff like that. Uh-uh. Okay, so 9, 4, and 1. Good. Alright, good stuff. So I get 1, 2, 1, 2, 4. And what could we do with that? We can't bring none over, so we have to use a decimal point, right? And that decimal point, we add a new 0. Right? Y'all familiar with that, right? Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Because boy, if y'all wasn't familiar, I don't know what I was gonna do. I was gonna cry. Ah. Alright, so okay, good. So start 0. So how much times 600 goes into 1000? 240.
5 times.
Let's see, 5 times. 600 times 5. That's 3000. It's too much.
If you could just
Twice, eh?
6 into 924.
Isn't it twice? Can it be 2?
2, yeah, 2. 2.
2.
Yeah, 2 is good. That's 1200. And so 2 will work. And 600 times 2 is definitely 1200. And so once we do that, let's bring this over on the side. So 0 minus 0 is 0. 4 minus 0 is 4. And 12 and 12 is 0. Then we have 4.
Mr. Putti, I think we did something wrong.
Let's let me do
I
it.
divide 6 into 924, but I get 1.54. I don't know where it took from.
924 divided by 6.
Yes, I think we did something wrong.
1.54. Yeah, I did something wrong. 600 times 1 is 600. Yeah. 4, 2. Oh, 9. This thing's supposed to be 3.
Sir. Yeah.
This is gonna be 5. Yeah. Okay. And so this one is gonna
I was correct guessing on.
3. Yeah, there we go. Good. So 0, 4, and 2. 240. And then we gotta put another 0 there on the back behind it. And then minus that'll be exactly what, 4? I think I didn't have to. It would have been easy, you know, if I just divide by, I think, 6. Because then that would go under it once, put the decimal point, then just use, that would have been so much easier. I don't know why I went this route. This route is not good. Anyway, since we're already here, times 600 times 4 is, that's gonna be what? 200. And so it's just 0. So the answer is $1.54. Okay, the reason why I use this was because I wanted to avoid using decimals, like dividing by decimal. That's why I wanted to avoid doing that. But it turns out that this decimal wasn't that bad, so I could have do it by 6 and still be right. But,
That's how I was wondering why you was doing all that.
yeah, I thought it's gonna be ugly, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. It would be so 1.54. So the answer is 1.54. Okay. All right, that's a way to do it. Okay, so this one, oh, I already gave away the answer. Oh wow. 4 men take.
Pick up.
Yeah, you can take a screenshot. 4 men take 14 days to build a shed. How long will it take 7 men to build the same shed?
You could zoom it out so I could take pictures of it.
Of the whole thing, like what?
The question will be still with the books.
Books. Does it there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So how long will it take 7 men to build the same shed?
Hey, I remember this. Okay.
Hold on, man. Again?
Yeah. Go ahead, Kennedy, take it away.
So the first two you multiply, then the last letter and the last one you see, you divide.
Okay. So multiply 4 and 14 and divide by 7. What you saying?
So
All right. And the question is, what's the rationale behind it? I don't know if I put it there. Okay. Yeah.
Well, gee, 8.
That's the way. But the rationale behind it, I don't know if y'all could remember, but we did.
Why you should answer before I get to unmute?
I mean, it's still answer. I mean, no one dies or no one, you know what I mean?
Sure.
time waits for no man.
No one dies. I mean, everybody know you get the answer, Miss Cooper. You ain't already know.
How did you answer the question, please?
All right. So let me show you how on the rationale. So 4 men takes 14 days to build a shed, right? How long, the question asks, will it take 7 men to build the same shed? So the way how Kennedy remembers it is she say take the 4 times the 2, then divide it by how much you already have. right? And that's a neat way to remember it. The reason is the following. It's because we're dealing with proportion. So let me we did this before. So
Yeah, when we stuck on a question.
remember we have we have the number of men. So men, all right. That's the amount of men that we have, the number of men that we have. And then we have hours or time, you can say. Right? And time is in hours, right? Now, what's the relationship between the number of men and time? So let's look at it. The more men that we have, what would that do with the time?
The less time it will
The
be.
less time it'll be, right? And so, and also, the less men that we have, right? What would happen?
The more time will
The
go up.
more time, right? And so clearly we have what we call an inverse relationship, right? So they're inversely proportional to each other. So we say that time and men are inversely proportional to each other. Inversely proportional, I would say. And so the way how we represent this mathematically is that we say that M is inversely proportional to T. Now this is direct. What's the symbol for inverse proportion? I can't remember the symbol for that. Let's see. Symbol for inverse proportion. That? Okay. For proportional is A is proportional to B. If we say that A is inversely proportional is A, it's okay, good. So we say that, yeah, that's true. So we say that M is inversely proportional to time, or 1 over T. And so that means, in mathematical terms, is that M divided by T is going to give me some constant K. M divided by T is going to give me some constant K. Now we know that the number of men in the first time was how much? Was it 4?
4 men.
And the time it took was how much? It was a days or hours?
14 something. 14 hours or days.
It was 14 days.
Days.
14 days. Let me see. Good.
What's that symbol?
What, this one? Which one? This one? Sorry.
The symbol before you click on that, like.
You mean this? Or this?
Wait. One of those symbols.
I know you're talking about. Which one you talking about?
Like you could go back before you click on this.
Okay, maybe this.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's proportionality. So if it's directly proportional, right? If it's directly proportional, then we use the symbol. If it's inversely proportional, we still use the symbol, but we use it for we'd say A is inversely proportional to 1 over B. sorry, we say that A is proportional to 1 over B. That means, okay, well, it's interesting to explain. What all it's saying is that, look, let me show you what I mean. If you look at this, right, this symbol is directly proportional. No, this is what I mean. The symbol is directly proportional. So if we add M and we add another letter, say F, we say M is directly proportional to F. That means as M goes up, F goes up. Like, it's the same thing. Like, there are several things in life that are directly proportional to each other. Give me some examples. Stuff that are directly proportional to each other. As one go up, the other one goes
The
up.
sun and the heat.
Very good. The sun and the heat, right? So as, okay, fix that for me. And okay, let's say the intensity of the sun, you mean? So as the intensity of the sun increase, the heat increase, right? Or as something that's more easier to think about, as something directly proportional.
If you eat more food, you get big.
Yeah, okay, that's a good one. As you eat more food, you get big. So that's the symbol there, directly proportional. So,
The longer we on the earth, the more likely we are to die.
oh my goodness, something that's weird. That's
See?
more direct than that. The more I like that one with food. The more food you eat, the bigger you get. The less food you eat, the less fat you get. So they are directly relational to each other, right? That's a direct proportion. But here, this is inverse. So we'd say M is directly proportional to the inverse of T. That's what this is saying. 1 over T is the inverse, all right? That's the multiplicative inverse, all right? So that's what they're basically saying. All right, so what that means in mathematical terms, sorry, if M is inversely proportional to 1 over T, what that means is there exists some K. Oh my goodness, sorry. What that means is that there exists some K such that M is equal to K, we call it the constant of proportionality, over T. Okay? And so what that means is that in order to find K, that's what this means. M is directly proportional to the inverse of T, means that M equals to K over T. So there exists some constant K that we could use such that if we multiply the number of men and the time, we could get the K. So that's why Kennedy teacher always tell her to multiply the men or these two, because look, if we cross multiply, we'd see that M and T would go together, so that'd be M times T, and M times T is K. Okay, and so we know what M is. M is 4. That's the number of men. We know what time is. Time is 14. Okay, time is 14.
Do these kind of questions come on the BJC? Don't let me do it now.
Bgcse, you
I mean
mean?
the BGCSE.
It could come. Why not? I mean, it's just inverse. Yeah, I remember in grade 11, our teacher was trying to help us to understand this. They're not as frequent though, but they more than likely if they come in on like paper 1, paper 2, because they shouldn't be hard. What happened? You find this difficult?
No, just relaxing because that'll be easy 3 points. I could, swing my way.
Okay. So 4 times 14 is what? 56. Good. So 56 is the constant of proportionality. Good. So we know what K is. K is 56. Now, if now we are given that, so we know that K is 56. That's good. Now, if we are given that, if we are given how much number of men we have, 7 men, how long will it take? All right. So
Eight.
So we know that K is 56, right? And the formula that we have is that M equals K over T. We know what the constant of proportionality is. That's what? That's what? What is the constant of proportionality?
What'd you say, Mr. T?
What is the constant of proportionality? What is K?
K is 56.
K is 56. We know that. So K is 56 as we just figured out. So we know that K is 56. We know that the number of men that we currently are working with is what?
7.
7 from the question. And so how much would the time be? How long would it take?
8 days.
In order to figure that out, we have to rearrange the formula. So that'll be over 1. We cross multiply. So we're trying to find what t is. So that means we have mt, which is equal to k. Divide both sides by m to get that t is equal to k over m.
Mr. T, when you finish, don't move. I want to take a screenshot.
Which is equal to, no problem, t is equal to k over m. What is k? 56
56.
divided by, what is m? M is
7.
7. And that's why we say 56 divided by 7, which gives us
8.
Okay. So it comes right back to this the same formula, using this formula. Okay. Any questions on this?
Yes, sir.
When you learn how to manipulate that formula like that,
When I learned that?
yeah.
Why you say when?
Well, I just want to know when you learn that.
I don't understand. When?
Like, when did you learn how to manipulate the formulas like you do just now?
You mean with grade?
Yeah, like when? At what point in your life?
Gee, we going to bio story. I can't say. I can't say it. I can't say. High school. High school. I'd say high school. I remember Mr. Jones teaching us transposition. So that's the first time I would say I really got Mr. Jones. That's grade 11, 12. Yeah.
You don't understand it quickly or no?
No. No. Even the first time you put that on the board, I was like, where you get, how you know, where you, I didn't understand that at all. I was so lost.
Was he a bar teacher?
Oh, he was great. I love that. He is great. Very calm, very, very indecisive though. Mr. Jones, he is so unorganized. But he knew his stuff, you know? He's kind of the teacher who like they know their stuff, but they don't know how to communicate it like that. Like they're not like terribly organized, but you know they smart. They just ain't 100% organized. So he would jump from one thing to the next thing, but then um he would put it all together. So it's very good, man. Very good. I like Mr. Jones. And very caring. He really did care for us. An hour. Um, he very self-sacrificing too. He would spend a lot of time with us, afternoon classes, lunch classes, all that stuff. So he really helped us. Okay, any questions on this?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So next up is okay. This is a good one. I like this question. How many men are needed to finish the shed in 2 days? This is a good question because what it does is that it causes us to manipulate the formula again. So how many men are needed to finish the shed in 2 days? So here they're asking for men now. How many men are needed to finish the shed in 2 days? Kennedy, any remarks?
I cannot lie to your lie, no.
You don't know. Any remarks? Anyone? We have to use our formula, and that's why it's important to know how to manipulate this formula. If you don't know how to manipulate this formula, dog eat your lunch, breakfast, and dinner. So remember the formula is m equals k over t. That's our way out. All right, so the formula is m is equal to k over t. Okay, that's the formula we have. We already have what it is for m, right? That's what it is for m. For k, we know that for k it's going to be m times t. Okay, and then for t, we know it's going to be what? Anyone can remember what we got for that? For t.
K times M.
Say it again. No, not k times m. For t, we just had it. K over m.
K divided by M.
Dang it.
Divided.
K divided by m. I think we can make a nice little thing from this one. Let's see if we could. Like, like the little triangle thing? Can we not make that from the same thing?
You could, yeah.
All right, so let's see. I guess the constant of proportionality would be on top, yeah. So the constant of proportionality is here. And so m is going to be here. Let me use a different color for m is going to be here. So m is equal to k over t, yeah. And t is equal to k over m. This is a good one. I think y'all should use this. So instead of, if you don't know how to manipulate the formula like this, you could use the triangle. You know that the number of men that work is going to be k over t, and the number of time it takes is going to be k over m. Okay? So if now, if we know, let me do it on this side. If we know that the number of men is, what did they tell us? Oh, we don't know what the number of men is. But if we know that it takes 2 days, right, to build the shed, how much men did we have? Given that our constant of proportionality was what? Was our constant of proportionality that we found?
56.
56. Very good. So how much men do we have? How much men do we have, people? What? Come on, man. How can I be that lost?
28.
No, not 28. Oh, yes, 28. Very good. Cooper, how you do that? How you did that?
And my divide.
Divide what? 56.
56 by 2.
Very good. Because remember, m is k over t. Right? So m is k over t. Is going to be equal to k, which is 56, and t, which is what? 2 days.
2.
56 divided by
2 days.
yeah. 56 divided by 2 days is
28.
28.
28 days.
28 days. Yes, ma'am. No, 28 men. 28 men.
28.
Oh man. Gee.
28 men. Okay, let me ask you another question. If gee. So if we know that it took if we know it took 8 days, we already know that we already did it. I think we already did the 8 days one, didn't we?
Yeah, Mr. Petit.
Yeah, Mel. I trying to think of another question. Okay, we can leave it later.
First,
Okay. So just use this triangle to help you to manipulate the formula. You know that K is going to give you your constant of proportionality. M is how much man. T is time it takes. Now, this works for anything that you're doing with inverse proportion. Now, it don't have to be man and time, right? These could be different. Whatever is inversely proportional to each other, you could use this this formula, this triangle to do it. Once one goes up, another one goes down, you could use inverse proportion triangle. You could use this triangle to figure out the m and the t. Any questions before I move
no, sir.
on?
You only doing BJC questions tonight?
What? It's 7:22. Gee. Okay. I didn't realize that. I did not realize that. Thank you for saying. All right. How is it 7:22? Scroll.
He slowly was flat.
Scroll, man. I honestly did not see that. Thank you, Miss Scroll. That means we have to do a homework question. So the homework question was the following. Let's look it up. This was one of the homework questions. What was the other one? This was one of the homework questions. And what's the last one? 2016. We had a nice one from 2016 that I wanted us to do. This was one of the homework questions, so let's do this. Let's begin with this. Shout out to Miss Alicia Rackley for doing her homework. She's not here, but she did it. So when you listen to the recording, Miss Rackley, good job. And shout out to Miss Joseph for doing the homework. That's only the homework I got. So the rest
Good job. Y'all are an inspiration.
I want standing ovation.
I feel more motivated already.
You feel more. I want standing ovation, man. I just want a word. I want standing ovation.
I remember my math teacher like showing us a preview of this.
Preview of this?
Yeah, a little preview of this because she didn't taught us this. She said she would teach us this in grade 10.
Okay, good stuff. Your teacher is male or female?
Female. You know Nisha Motamore?
Nisha Motamore? Oh. No, how will she look?
No offense, right? But she don't have no hair, just short curly hair, and she kind of chubby.
I mean, like, how will she look like? 20s,
30,
30s?
no 30s.
Okay, 30s.
Middle 30s.
Okay, so she's a young woman.
Does she wear glasses?
No.
Oh.
Okay, so here we have K. K is what we call the what? I know you can remember from yesterday. K is what? G. Do I
It's on the tip of my tongue.
in the list class or what?
I remember, but I didn't remember.
Oh man. Boy, should I just close up shop early and just say, you know what, y'all go for it? Why? What's happening? What is K? K is what?
Starts with an M.
S. K is what we call a scalar, right?
Bro.
Yeah, scalar. That's what K is. So we say K times 0, which is 0. K times 3, which is 3K. K times negative 2, which is negative 2K. K times 1, which is simply K. Good. Then we have M and and 0, 1 and 4 equals 2, 3 and N and 12 and 8. And so we have M plus 0, which is what? M plus 0 is what?
M.
M, very good. because remember that 0 is the additive identity. So anything added to 0 is itself. Then we have 0 plus 3k, which is what?
3K?
3k, very good. Because 3k, because 0 is the additive identity, anything added to 0 is the original number. And then we have 1 plus negative 2k. So that's going to be 1 plus negative 2k. That's going to give us 1 minus 2k. And then we have 4 plus k. That's 4 plus k. Good, and that's going to be equal to 2 to the 3, 2 to the 12, and to the n, and to the 8. Good. What do we do at this point? What do we do at this point? Hello, what do we do at this point?
Yes.
Say it again.
Start like simplifying them.
Start by simplifying now. What do you mean?
That means M would equal 3 or something like that.
M equals to 3. Very good.
And then 3. So I stopped out for a minute. This the first one, right?
Yeah, that's the first one.
Okay, thank you.
That means you missed your shout out.
I missed my what?
Your shout out. Your shout out. And you missed
What you mean?
Mr. Bethel's kind remarks.
On what?
I was
Exactly.
saying, you and Alicia was giving y'all a shout out for doing y'all master plan.
Oh, thank you.
And Mr. Bethel said that you're an inspiration.
I received that.
You received that, okay. I tell him I want standing ovation, no, not just that. Standing ovation. So M equals to 3. So M equals 3. That's good. How are we going to get K? 3K
Equals 3. I mean 12. Sorry, 12.
12.
equals to 12.
Equals to 12. And then you'll divide both sides by 3.
Very good. Divide both sides by 3. Miss Cooper, what do you
And
think?
K
Miss Cooper, what do you
Say
think
E
about my
equals
line?
4.
What do you think about my line, Miss Cooper? See how straight that is?
Low cricket off there.
Little crick. Oh my god. Oh wow.
Man, you hating Cooper. That looks so straight.
Y'all just are beginning of this man.
It
Hey?
is straight.
So much, Miss Cooper, Miss Kennedy. I really appreciate it.
Well, it's great. It is great. The second one, it's great, but at the end, it's one little cricket.
Bye. What is 12 divided by 3?
4.
4. 4. I
4.
was about to say. My teacher, I had a teacher. I had a computer teacher. This was when he's teaching us coding in university, right? He always used to say this. He used to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, fat policeman at the door. Yo.
What?
That's a fun college teacher. I
I
knew
have a
him.
question. I have a question.
Hey.
Cynthia had you doing all that coding, right? Did you ever like made a site or script one? I'm sure you teach you how to script.
Make a what?
A site.
Make a site? I made site. I mean, not like when I say coding, I mean like we didn't do like Java, you know. We did C++.
Oh.
So 1 minus 2k equals to n. All right, and then 2k. K is 4, so it's gonna be 1 minus, 2 times 4, and that's gonna be equal to n. And what is 2 times 4?
8,
8 for sure. It's gonna be equal to 1 minus 8 is what?
7.
Negative 7.
Negative 7.
7, thank you. So n is equal to negative 7. People used to think his jokes were stale, but I used to laugh at his jokes. See,
Of course you did, Mr. T.
I can't blame him. We gotta get that A.
It's Mr. B we're talking about.
he had to be joking. One thing though, he had a bad habit of smoking cigarettes. Though, my goodness,
Oh,
he could smoke
Wow.
cigarettes. He could smoke some cigarettes before class, after class, during class. I shouldn't say during class. That's what we but my
I bet,
he could have
I
smoked
bet,
some cigarettes.
yeah, I bet he can make funny expression faces with them smoke.
He's man, he was one of a guy, funny guy.
I know it's long stride and a Popeye biscuit. I know it's long stride.
Don't say that to my good teacher. He was good. He was fun, very fun.
He show you his skills. Like
He was
like
very
I
good.
used to with.
He's very good. He's a good computer guy. He made me in. When it comes to those things, he's very good, man. M equals to 3. K is 4. N is negative 7. So that means that this is actually 3. This is actually 4. This is actually negative 7. Let's see if it works, though. Let's see if it works. Let's actually compute this thing and see if we get it. What could we say about all our matrices, though? All of them are what?
2.
All of them are
So this square matrices.
square matrices, yes. That's a good thing. 2 by 2. Bum, bum, bum. So we have, what was the entry? What it was 3014. 3014
1, 4.
plus 4, and what else we had? 0, negative 2, 1. That's right. 0, 3, negative 2, 1. 0,
Yeah.
3,
Negative 2.
and 1.
1.
And that should equal to, if we did it right, it should equal to 3, 12, negative 7, and 8. So, drum roll please. Alright, let's see. Let's see if we right. I think we are right. I think we are right.
Yay.
This is the first time I ever seen Mr. Petite this excited.
That's an everyday thing.
Alright, good stuff. So we did actually do it right. We are
Let me get a
mathematicians.
screenshot, please.
We are mathematicians, people, officially.
Better than Alvin Einstein.
I mean, Albert Einstein. That guy was a genius, man. That guy, he could do his things in the back of his head.
This one get them, Mr. T.
Not the Albert Einstein. This one in a different level.
Yeah, ready there. What you mean?
That man. No. You know what Albert Einstein is?
So who you have more respect for, Albert or Isaac?
Boy. That's a good one.
Exactly.
Alvin Einstein.
That's a good one.
I got some right, Miss Bettina, the first question.
I like Albert Einstein. I like Isaac though. Isaac, he good for calculus.
Mr. PT, what's your thoughts on Stephen Hawking?
Stephen Hawkins. I don't like Stephen Hawkins. He too complicated for me.
Is it because he atheist?
He's atheist, but I mean, I don't really see his. I mean, I guess I have to know more. I don't really see his real contributions, man. He more on the theoretical stuff. I really
Also, why didn't you bother with the 4 plus K and 8?
the 4 plus k. Oh, I mean, because we already know what. Okay, if we do 4 plus k and 8, that would just tell us what k is. But we already know what k is. Eh? We know k is 4, so we don't have to bother with that. Once we solve our variables, we're good. Because that's all they asked us for, right? K, M, and N. Yes, Nancy, you say you got some of it, all of it?
Never mind.
What happened?
Mm-mm.
Nothing?
You know that negative still messing me up.
What negative? It's negative
How you
7?
get that -7?
Oh my goodness.
That's
Oh my, this directed numbers, man. Mr. Floyd.
why you can't just take it away and like that negative be gone with it with the 1.
Negative be gone with the 1. So let me ask a question. You owe someone $8. You have $1, right? You owe someone $8. You have $1. Pay them the dollar that you owe them. How much money you still owe them?
It's still owed on 7.
You still owe 7. So it's -7. Well, you want to have $7?
I want a waiver.
You want to wait? Oh boy. Okay. Where are we? Okay. 7:40. Nancy, so should I show you your homework and see how well you did? How much you got all right?
Honestly, no. Why you put me on the spot? Try someone else for a change.
Miss Reckley in here. Miss Reckley said.
Please.
Miss Reckley said. Sorry, Miss Petite. I
I
know
do
you
not
have.
give consent.
You said you do.
I'll do it.
All right. Who said they'll do it?
I do not give consent.
All right.
I'll do it.
Kennedy.
Taking one for the team.
Kennedy, you send your homework?
Fine.
No, I don't even know how to do this.
You see, that's even worse.
Oh boy. Okay.
You can look around, see it. You don't have a problem.
Why my human? I do not give consent. You need my consent. I don't give my consent. I didn't give it.
He said I need a consent. Okay. All right. All right. We can abide by that. Okay. This one. Given that this does not have an inverse, calculate the value of x. Okay, so we looked at this before. If the thing does not have an inverse, so if let's write this down. If a matrix does
Okay,
not
Mr.
have
Petit, you could show it. You could show it. I think I just marking it. I think I do okay.
think they
I'm
okay.
positive.
Right.
I give my consent. You see?
Now you give it. Okay.
10 hours later.
Why you Miss Joseph? That sounds so formal.
Oh my god.
That's how I always call you.
You don't never say Nancy?
I mean, I say Nancy, but the first time I just call it. Okay. Okay. All right. He was on point for the most part. Got the -7. -7 for sure. We got the 4. What happened here though? Is that -1? How you get -1?
I don't know.
You and this adding 4 to both sides and just send the thing over? I don't understand. Who taught you
I
algebra? Who taught you
You trying to
algebra?
insult me?
No. I'm not trying to insult you. Just who taught you algebra?
Not a side joking, man. My teacher. Okay, there's a habit. Like she drilled it into us basically.
I see what you did wrong. K times 0.
Yeah, I noticed that I did.
Yeah, K times 0 is 0. I see the problem now. Remember K times 0. Remember K, the 0 property?
I wasn't thinking like that when it comes to matrix. I was thinking, okay, you just replace it with k because you multiplying it by k. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying. But only if it's 1. That's only, remember, 0 is not the multiplicative identity. So we
Mm.
cannot multiply it by that to get k. We only can do that with the multiplicative identity. We only can do that with 1. Alright, so be careful. But you good for the most
We were
part.
supposed to do B. Sorry, we were supposed to do B.
We doing that now. It's looking like you're
I
doing
never
something.
did that question, so I think I someone did right.
It's looking like you're doing something right. Looking. Let's see.
Yeah, we'll see for real.
Oh boy. So if a matrix does not have an if a matrix does not have a matrix, what? If a matrix does not have an inverse,
Wow, Mr. T.
then if a matrix A does not have an inverse, then the determinant of A equals 0. That is A times D minus B times C equals 0. Okay, so that's the criteria. If a matrix does not have an inverse, then its determinant is 0. That is A times D minus B times C is 0. I don't know if you remember, we did this before. This is going to be A, this is B, this is C, and this is D. So since this matrix does not have an inverse, that means that A times D minus B times C is 0. So what is A? A is, so we have A times D minus B times C, which is equal to 0. By the way, this is what we call the determinant. So this is what we call the determinant. Sorry, let me make it very clear. This same the same AD minus BC, that's the determinant. That's the determinant of the matrix. All right, what is A? What is A?
A is X.
A is X, very good. What is D?
3.
3.
1.
What is B?
1.
1. What is C?
2.
2.
Oh no, I did that so wrong. Oh my god.
0. I prefer to write it instead of x times 3 as 3x minus what is 1 times 2?
2.
2, very good, is equal to 0. And so we send this over. 3x is equal to 2. Then we're gonna what? Divide both sides by 3.
3.
Mm-hmm. So x is equal to what?
2/3.
2/3. Michaela, are you still there? I heard you in the beginning and I don't hear you no more.
You can leave it there so I can take a screenshot, please.
You're welcome. Michaela Maki. Oh, child. Can someone tell me what can I do to keep retention going? I've been thinking about it all yesterday.
Keep what going?
Retention. What can I do to keep retention and engagement in the lessons? I don't know what to do.
What you mean by what? What kind of Japanese is speaking?
Retention.
Micro breaks where you just do a little rant.
Micro breaks.
What are
Micro.
we talking about?
As we learn.
Yeah,
Good.
like to keep it interesting, like
Then,
this, like to refresh the mind.
to refresh the mind.
Wait, you mean to keep people interacting in the
Yeah,
class?
in retention and
You could have
engagement.
said that.
Say it again. Oh, I could have said that.
Never mind. um,
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I did probably like the classes why I stayed. Then I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
It's because I don't think it's because of the teaching. I just think it's because of the students how they interact. It's an open space for others. I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
think I think they covered this what that was
Wait, learning
Tuesday
here.
when we do that exam.
Tuesday.
Yeah, they covered this on the recording, the benefits and the disadvantages of online
Yes.
classes.
Yeah, it's hard to keep you all engaged. The frog.
My just
thought
this
that was
this frog gonna embarrass me though. Honestly.
What is
Sorry,
that?
it's on my window and it won't stop talking. So I have to engage in personal conversations
The frog for
during
real?
the session.
just get a brum and hit it.
As the frog will kiss Nancy.
Do not do that. He is speak to me at times.
Princess and the frog. Is that what this is?
Oh,
Your kiss for the day.
oh my
Not a
What type of conversation shall we having, Nancy?
God.
About their first kiss.
Boy.
It's super. That's X-rated stuff inside out. What
This
Yeah,
class?
is not Princess and the Frog.
they call it kill me, boy.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how keep retention and engagement going. Like I could call some names now. Watch this, and I won't have no voice. Michaela, where are you? How are you doing? Oh, she gone. Okay, so that one disappeared.
Now I was telling you, Shane.
Oh, okay. Who else could I get ask? Haley, where are you? Sean, where are you? Are you here? I get nothing. So I don't know what to do.
Wait, those people actually attend our class?
Yeah, they're in our class. They're right there.
I never heard them. Never.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
So,
Who
but
is that?
they might be just the recording warriors.
How's the recording voice?
They just listen to the recordings, the recording
I think
warriors.
it probably could just be people who don't want to talk but listen. You got
Well, we
those
could
kind
ask
of
them.
people.
Sean,
Good night.
good night. How you doing?
Alright.
Um, we don't hear you much. Do you be listening, engaged? What is be going on? Like, I was understand your experience in the class.
Yes, I be listening.
Okay,
It's a good experience.
all right. Um, I guess. What question I want to ask you? Are you natural? Are you shy, or you just rather not speak, or you know, you just wait till what?
I just really don't have nothing much to say. Just listen.
Listen, okay. Do you take notes, anything, or take screenshots or something?
I take pictures.
Nice. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Anything that we could
Some
do to
kind
make
of
the class more,
investigation going on.
anything we could do to make the class more engaging, or you think it's good as is, or
Say
what would you
Kahoot.
suggest?
Great idea, Kahoot.
Kahoot? Oh, I I thought about that. I thought about that. I'm like, maybe Kahoot would work.
Okay, I don't. Okay, half of the stuff y'all is be saying in slang, I don't understand. So y'all gotta,
Kahoot.
you know, English it
Kahoot
down
is
for
a
me.
game.
Kahoot is like a game.
A
A
what?
game.
A
What
game
is
like Kahoot, quizzes, blockade, all of that.
what?
Oh wow.
Mr.
Actually, you need
Petit.
a couple times.
We're just talking about good. What is that?
Oh my.
Oh boy, I don't
Don't
know
look
what.
at it.
Nancy, why don't ask your friend by your window?
Leave Mr. Bobby alone, okay?
What?
Leave it all.
Give it
My
all. Give
God.
it all. All right.
Bobby.
Yeah, Mr. Petit, you know you just commit a grave offense.
What's the grave offense?
It's not polite to call out the lurkers.
The lurkers? Ah,
Yeah,
They ain't allowed us to say
it's
that.
not polite. You're not supposed to call out lurkers.
Sky Water philosophies.
It's not his tea. I must be lately. I've been to that. Lately, a lot. You've been talking your tea. What did we do to offend you?
No, it's
Hi,
not a.
Michelle.
It's not a.
We even scare away my frog because you suck your teeth so hard that he
Wow.
bounced off my window.
Well, that's a good thing.
No,
You can just
Mr.
back.
Bob was
So that's a good thing.
he was royalty at this point.
So the determinant of A. Let's see if we can do that. So the determinant of A, like I said, is going to be. Yeah, when I suck my teeth, that's a polite suck teeth. Not a rude way. I know it's it's a habit. But it's a funny habit
What
because
kind of writing or listening technique that is?
that's not that name. I don't know what you mean.
Like you sucking your teeth. Like if you were to write, then I suck my teeth. Like what kind of language that would be? Like technique wise.
Ah, it's a good question. I mean, if that happened inside the exam, I would say that it might suggest um maybe some type of annoyance that the author wants to breathe out from the character to let you know the character's annoyed. That's what usually suck the teeth really is. But it could be a sly sarcasm too. And I said it because when I suck my teeth, I being sarcastic. So you have to listen. You have to listen to the context too to know which one it is. But I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is 13 times 5? That's what, 65, isn't it?
Okay, you say it's A to C, B to D, right?
65.
No, A to D.
A to D.
A to
Oh,
D.
okay.
Because this is A.
B to C.
It's A, B,
It's
C,
the ball back.
D. Wow, that's a real one.
I know who she thought she was full of, but Mr. Bob God.
A, D, and then what? B and C. There we go. All right, and then B is 9 times 8. Okay, good. So 9 times 8 is what? 9 times 8. What's 9 times 8, people? Good child.
Sometimes it is 72.
Very good. Very good. 72. So the determinant here is actually a negative number. What is 65 minus 72?
7.
You sure 7?
No.
Negative.
Yes, 7 is 7.
7?
Negative.
I got -7.
There we
Oh.
go. -7.
Why everything on the big negative, please?
Because clearly 72 is bigger, and it's the -1. So you take the sign.
That's
I
ridiculous.
know that's confused.
Yes, sir.
Did you know that before there was no such thing as a negative number?
In primary school, yeah.
Say it again. Say it
No,
again.
I talking
Say it
about
again, Lime.
In primary school and grade 7, grade 8, and grade 9, that's when this negative crap got worse.
Okay.
I talking about like primordial maths. You know, like back when they used to be using squares and things
That's because
to do theories and things, and they couldn't fathom the concept of a negative number.
yeah, I mean,
But to us, like this normal.
yeah, I mean, even 0. Before they never used to have 0 in certain number systems. But then they started to include 0. And then they get developed more and more. Even before there was no such thing as imaginary numbers, And then we had to learn imaginary numbers in order to be able to solve certain equations whereby we have like for example, if you have a negative square root, right? How would you deal with that? That's where the imaginary number comes in. So, and then you have the complex number system as well. So a lot of stuff we add on, just to be able to deal with certain situations that come up. So, yeah. Then we have so solve x and y in matrix equation. Do we have time for that? It's what, 8 o'clock? I can leave B. I'm gonna do B. But it's how we get the determinant of that. Okay, now it's time for English.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so it's 8 o'clock English time. Okay, so give me one moment.
I'd like to hear what Mr. Bob got to say about negative numbers.
Oh, wow. Yeah. What do you say?
That was loud.
Nancy, interpret what he said, please.
He cussing us out. Cuss him out.
Oh, wow, he wouldn't do that. He's a nice frog.
Pardon me, you called my name. Sorry, I was just doing something.
Yes.
He missed the whole thing.
Pardon me?
You missed the whole thing. Now Mr. Frog got a whole monologue.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
So, Mr. G, we doing like a BJC language now?
BJC
Sorry.
language? Oh, boy. There we go again.
Yeah, I got to interpret that one.
What I want to do today, I want to look at, because the next exam all of is continuous writing, right?
When do we have it? On the 17th or something?
I don't know. So I want to look at continuous writing.
So it's like creative writing?
No, that's like when you write an essay, right?
Yeah, like that's based on the no.
Why didn't name it like that?
So I can't continuous.
Again?
Why did they name it like
Why
that?
they give it that name? Why they? Yeah.
continuous writing. I mean, what do you want them to do even?
Just riding straight through.
Writing
Continuous
essay.
writing essays. Okay, I guess. So,
So the whole thing of that's about writing essay.
yeah, right. For the BGCSE, but for y'all, it's of course you have to do a letter too. Don't forget that.
Oh boy.
Okay, so let's look at some some basically some features on on how to write properly. That's what I'll do. That's what I'll do today. Let's look at that.
How much language papers we have?
I think I have like what you have for those who don't extend it. You have oral. You have continuous writing. Then you have paper 3, which is the reading, and then you have paper 4. So it's 4 in total that I can remember. But check your schedule to see. This is language, huh? Okay. Someone is asking to join. So when you're writing, right, there are several criterias that we're gonna be looking at. Today is what? Today is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The 4th. Sorry, the 4th of. I'll actually write this one down for me, please. 4th of May, 2022. This is English language, and it's gonna be looking at the criteria for grading scripts. And this is what we're talking about.
Sorry, but I just popped back in. Where did we stop?
We stopped at. You mean in maths?
Uh,
We stopped at finding the determinant. Let me show you the screen. We stopped at finding the determinant.
sorry, my laptop wants to act lately. Just want to be acting a fool. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it trying to tell me something or?
I don't know. They say the curse positive shall not come.
This laptop is giving me a headache all day. Okay, so we start. Let me take a screenshot. Um, and now my screen don't. It's legit freezing. Okay.
Okay, that's probably why there's a continuous lag on your end whenever you talk.
It is.
Yeah, you gotta give a couple minutes to air that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Y'all is bad, right? Don't you know?
No, for real, we're not running all right. It's the truth.
I get ready to give it away because it's brand new. I just don't know why. I update it all the time. I just don't know why it's giving me a headache today when I really need it.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
I get ready to give it away and get a new one because this thing ain't working out for me.
I don't know. Like I say, they say the curse causeless shall not come. So some had to happen. So to cause it like that. So anyway, the criteria for grading scripts is we are looking at the continuous writing paper. So anything that deals with this the criteria you're gonna need when you're looking at um developing your essays, forming your essays, stuff like that. The first thing, and I want to emphasize this, you want to look at the material, okay? When I say material, I mean the content that you have. So when you go about writing your essay, look at the material that you have, or look at the content that you are about to write or that you have written, and ask yourself several questions. The first question is it appropriate? Right? So is the material that I've written appropriate? And what that really mean is that does it obey the prompt? And when we say prompt, that basically means the given question. So that's one of the first things. This is like the basic, right? The basic of writing and writing your essays. If the question asks you about, say, telling a story about a betrayal, right? And then you go talk about your trip in Las Vegas and how your vacation was nice and all that good stuff, and you still ain't talk about betrayal yet, you know you can't get full marks for it. No matter how well you write about that vacation, no matter how much adjectives and verbs and pronouns and adverbs, and no matter how coherent and nice your paragraph in your essay is, if they ask about betrayal and you write about your trip to Las Vegas and your vacation, no matter how well that is, you cannot get an A or a B. All right, you might not even get a C. So the basic thing is that, does it obey the prompt? Does it answer the question given? That's the first thing. So make sure that what you write is in harmony with what the question say, fundamentally. So after you're ready, get that. After you're ready, after your answer fully abides by the question, the next question that you want to ask is it mature? Okay. Not only does it answer the question, but is it mature? All right. So if I ask a sixth grader, so if I ask a person who's in, let's say, kindergarten, and I say, "How was your day?" You expect them to say something like, "My day was good," or "good, great." You know what I mean? You expect them to say something like that. When you reach in grade 3, how was your day? Oh, my day was awesome. Reaching grade 4, how was your day? My day was fantastic. Reaching grade 6, how was your day? My day was awkward, right? Because my teacher did whatever. Reaching grade 7, how was your day? It gets mature. By the time you reach in grade 12, how was your day? Okay. You pull out your paper, you start, you know what I mean? Like, you give the whole 9 yards. So, is it mature? That means, is it what one would expect from a person in from a person in grade 9 or grade 12. The reason why I say grade 9 or grade 12, because even though if you're in grade 8, you're taking the grade 9 exam. So you need to sound like a person in grade 9. Even though you're in grade 11, you're taking the grade 12 exam. So you need to sound like a person in grade 12. Even if you are out of school and you are at a grade 6 level in writing, you're taking a grade 12 exam, you need to sound like a 12th grader or beyond. All right. So is it mature? Is it what someone would expect from a person in grade 9 or a person in grade 12? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Oui.
Okay, good. The
Yes, sir.
second thing is, the third thing rather, is that, so after we already talk about, does it obey the prompt? Like, do you actually answer the question? After we already talked about, is it mature? The next question is that, this is another interesting question. A question altogether different is that, is it interesting? That's what separates the sheep from the goat. All right. What separates the sheep from the goat is that fundamentally, okay, they answer the question. Yes, the question asks about X. They talk about X. Is it mature? It does sound mature. This is something I would expect from a 12th grader. And the next third part is creativity. This is what separates the person who gets a B from a person who gets a A. Is it interesting? Do you awaken my interest? So is the interest of the reader awakened, right? And sustained. Right? So do you awake my interest? And then after reading 2 more minutes of it, I'm like, okay, yeah, they're saying the same thing over. Or do you awaken it and you sustain it so that all the way through, I ain't even blink my eyes. I just can't wait till the end. And then when they reach the end, I'm like, what, this over already? That's what we want, right? Is the interest of the reader awakened and sustained, right? Now, question. How many persons feel like this is their strong point? Or which of these three do you feel like is your strong point or your weakest point? Question from you. Question for you. Strong point or weak point?
It's kind of vague. What? Give me an example of what you mean by if it's mature.
Come on, mature is
Like
mature.
you mean like vocabulary,
Everything,
like what?
everything all together. So it's not a
Okay,
single
let
thing
me
that
let
makes
me
it
hear a
mature.
mature response to how's your day from Mr. Petit.
A mature response. That was a typical example. I just was trying to say something. But okay, let me read something I would say is mature. All right, in terms of like say introduction, right? This is from Alex Martin Borrow, and this is from he's a 2010 candidate of the Bgcse, and this is his introduction. All right, listen to this. One of the challenges the Bahamas faces in the 21st century is to combat natural disasters. Various acts of nature directly affect the Bahamian economy and society. The graphical location of the Bahamas puts our country at risk from many natural disasters. These disasters include hurricanes and tsunamis. Additionally, because our nation is dependent on tourism, we can also be affected by volcanic eruptions that occur thousands of miles away. Another source of danger to nature comes from man. Oil spills, while caused by man, are disastrous to the natural environment. And so that's what I'd say would be a mature writing, right? It not only is his words, his vocabulary mature or varied, but how he put it together is also good. And the introduction isn't very long, it isn't very short. Um, it has all the necessary pieces that is there for it. We already know what he's gonna talk about. He's talking about natural disasters. Um, he talk about where he talking about. He talking about the Bahamas, natural disasters that happen in the Bahamas, and he also differentiate between the ones that are natural and the ones that are the ones that are man-made. And so maturity not only talks about your vocabulary, but how well you put them stuff together, how well you string them together. All right. Um, should I read another one? Should I read another one? No, I think that's good. I mean, yeah, that's what we mean by mature. Like something that is well thought of. Vocabulary is varied. It's like, I mean, I think we know it intuitively. That's why it's hard for me to really. That's why I wouldn't really try to explain it so much because I think we know intuitively what we expect from um, like a child versus a adult or
But
um,
what would you say? Would you say that was interesting?
that's what I'm saying. That's the thing. I talk about maturity. I wouldn't say that this is interesting. I wouldn't say that it's interesting. Um, to me, I think he could have done a better job with this introduction. But I think it's at minimum. It's just look to me like a B. I don't know why you get the. I don't know why you get A, because the introduction ain't all that hard. But I guess I'll have to read on. Yeah.
I think my weakest part is
Go ahead. But he does do a good job, especially
one.
one moment, especially given the time that he has. And remember, he did not know an encyclopedia in front of him. This is something that he wrote in under exam conditions. All right, and so yeah, I think he did a good job. Hidden good points. Go ahead.
1, 2, and 3.
Oh my god. 1, 2, and 3 are your strongest. Are you saying?
Because
Oh my goodness. Why you say that?
based off of the last essay I did, my problem was it's like appropriate, like same whereas it's you have the topic, but it's like you're going around the topic, not directly on the topic.
Yeah.
And then you also told me that it isn't mature enough. My language is not there yet,
Right.
and it's interesting. I can't keep it interesting. Like at the beginning, it'll sound interesting, but as you go on, it begins to fade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my 3 weakness.
Yeah. Would expect from a person. So,
For me, I can't. I don't know because I ain't right. Wild.
oh my. You need to start writing. Uh, now you answer my question that's about to ask. What could we do to get better?
Practice.
Practice. Practice is it detailed. All right. So these are all the tons under the material section. And this is what we'll be looking for. Is it appropriate? Does it answer the question? Is it mature? Is it sophisticated? Are the ideas well thought of and well put together? Is it interesting? Is it something that you are engaged in and you continually looking in your what I think why they highlighted Alex's essay is because as I read through this essay, I noticed that he included a lot of details, about say Category 3 hurricanes and certain miles per hour and Puerto Rico and Cuba. Like he really showed that he is very well read. Um, the Gulf Stream and Florida Keys and all type stuff. I see why they made this one the highlight. Even talk about the neutral Illusion adventures in this thing. Um, yeah, he really did a good job because he show um he show his strengths, like he show his wide knowledge, like he show his prowess, like he show, hey, I know the facts. That's what they're looking for too. You know what I mean? And that's what we really
You could
want.
also make up facts, right?
No, you can't make up facts. Then then it's opinion. But he was talking about some really some good facts like Hurricane Katrina, Andrew and Floyd. Those things actually happen. You can't go making up a hurricane and say, "Oh, Hurricane, what do we call Hurricane Fred or something like that." Good. So is it explained properly? That's where your supporting details come in, right? What are you gonna use to explain it? You're gonna use examples. You're gonna use comparisons. You're gonna use um, flashbacks. You're gonna use um, all of the techniques that we saw in other people writing. We could apply it to our own. You're gonna use, you know, um, very. Then use rhetorical questions. You're gonna use figurative language to explain what you're talking about. All right. Then is it detailed? Is it detailed enough? Right. That's all inside. That's where the body comes in. This is what we'll be looking at under the material section when we're grading your stuff. Is the material on point? All right. Then the next thing. After material, sorry, what do you think the next big part of the puzzle is? After material, anyone give a guess?
Techniques.
Technique, no. I name Miss Cooper. Where's Miss Cooper? She going to sleep? Sour ass.
Guess what?
Storytelling.
I heard it. Style. Style. Say storytelling.
Same difference.
Say storytelling. Say storytelling.
Same difference. You know, some people tell the story in a particular way. You could say that's their style of telling
Yeah, but
stories.
then you say storytelling. That's not style. It's not funny.
Elaborate.
Let's be like big excuse.
Sure, storytelling is not style. I don't have to elaborate. That's clear. They clearly are not synonymous. Look at the dictionary in the thesaurus. How you can say style is a synonym for storytelling?
Would you, in this particular
Technique.
genre, and like in
Rebuttal.
this particular situation, would it be?
I would say that storytelling style is a component of storytelling, but not synonymous.
All right.
So is the vocabulary varied? We know we understand what we mean by that. Hopefully, what we're using a wide range of words, all right, and using them appropriately. That's another thing. The next thing is there a sound understanding of the effectiveness of sentence structure? That is, have different structures been used? So, does all your sentences start with I went to the bathroom. Then I went out to a break. After that, I went to see my teacher. After that,
How
I
would you
went.
vary that?
Say it again. You could vary that. You could
Like
vary.
how?
That's what practice does. It helps you to vary it. You need to stop using. Sorry, the persons rather need to stop using first person pronouns. They need to start using third person. All right. Instead of saying I all the time. Like sorry, for example, I believe that society should lower the use of alcohol. Or I should say, I believe that society should stop drinking alcohol because it's bad. Right, so that's first person. If you're trying to write it in the third person, which is a better way because it takes you out of the picture, you could say that it is widely known that increasing the intake of alcohol, has tremendous negative effects on the health of adolescents. Research has shown that um, even one glass of alcohol um, slows or slows down um, the mental faculties, and it deteriorates the functionings of the frontal lobe, which is the area of the brain responsible for reasoning, problem solving, and um, dealing with um, uh, anger issues like that, right? So look at the difference between the first one and the second one. The first one I said, I believe that people should stop drinking, right? The second one I said that I take I take all of the pressure from me, and I said, hey, listen, this is what the research say. This is what is widely known as accepted. This is what we know. That's the third person, right? Instead of using I all the time. So changing from first person to third is very much so better. And that helps you to stop saying I. You don't want all your sentences to start the same. You don't want them to have the same structure. And you don't want them to be the same length. So you could have a medium sentence, a long sentence. We call them complex sentences, and you could have a short sentences. And you need to know the impact of short sentences and the impact of long sentences. Usually you want to use short sentences when you're trying to make an abrupt point, right? You want to use long sentences when you're trying to explain something that cannot be, that would lose its value if you break it down, if you break it apart into two. That's usually the idea. And so knowing how to use those sentences is important. So so we're looking at varied vocabulary and we're looking at varied sentence structure. All right, that's a part of style. Another thing is there a sense of audience, right? Or does it sound like you just talking to yourself, right? Is there a sense of audience, right? That means that do you have the reader in mind, and do you show the reader that you have them in mind? Now you don't want to use second person pronouns. We try to avoid that. Like we try to avoid the saying, now you know that, if you stop drinking alcohol, your health could be better, right? So why are you still drinking alcohol? You don't want to say that in your essay, right? You want to use you there, right? Even though we know we're talking to the audience, we don't use you. The way how we, try to get a sense of audience is that we entertain, we answer their questions before they get a chance to say it. So what I mean is that if you would make a point, like for example, if I made the point against alcohol, right? Like how I say that alcohol slows down mental faculties and compromises the functionings of the frontal lobe. And then I'll say right after that, because I know the next thing in the reader's mind is that, hey, well, um, well, what about the benefits of it? Because some people say, well, a little wine for the stomach's sake, and some people say, um, what don't you? Yeah, some people make the moderation claim. They might say, okay, just don't drink too much. And so what I do after I make that claim about it compromising the functioning of the frontal lobe and it slows down the wave patterns of the brain and all that stuff, after I make that point, to show that I have a sense of audience, I would entertain a rebuttal. So I'd say, well, although this is a belief that that is more harmony with the truth, others, or I could say opponents to this belief might argue that nothing should be done, or everything should be done in moderation, right? And then I'd say something like, um, however, um, the proper definition of temperance is that um, one should seek to avoid everything that is harmful and use judiciously those things that are good. And so what I did there is I said that, hey, even though some people say, oh, everything, you try to use it in moderation, what I did was I defined temperance in a new way. And I say, hey, no. Temperance really means avoid everything that's bad altogether, and what is good you use in moderation. And so that's how I play on it. So that shows that I have a sense of audience, because what I did was I I I answered what was in their thoughts before they said it. And so that shows that I have them involved in what I'm saying. And there's different other ways to do that. You could use humor, you could try to make it interesting using a dialogue that they would understand. especially if you're talking to a Bahamian audience. You could ask rhetorical questions. You could anyone else have any examples of how you could show that you have a sense of audience?
Can you break the fourth wall?
When you break the fourth wall, I don't understand what you mean.
Like when you're talking to the
Like
audience.
include the reader.
When you include the reader. Okay. Like I say, we try not to use a second person. We tend to try not to do that. So I don't know how you can include them um without actually saying. But I guess you have a point, because what we could do, and we do that in the conclusion, where we could give a call to action. That is good. Like based on whatever you say, you can say, therefore, it is wise that our country, grow up a nation that is free from alcoholic beverages, or that is free from drugs, and abstain from whatever I want to say. So that's a call to action. So it shows that we have them apart. That's good. Um, Anyone else? Okay. The next one is there an awareness of style in varied situations? That is, does the writer use different?
Missing the R.
Is there an awareness of style in varied situations? Does the writer, okay, thank you. Does the writer use different stylistic devices? All right, so that's all of the techniques that I've given you before. So simile, metaphor, onomatopoeia, oxymoron, paradox, irony, um, diction, tone, mood, um, rhetorical questions, um, alliteration, hyperbole, um, um, oh, what else do we have? Someone help me. Dialogue, um, interesting facts, jokes, humor, all those varied techniques, all of them come into play in your essay.
Colloquial language.
Colloquial language, all of them come into play in writing your essay. Okay, so your essay is a melting pot for all of your ideas. Who are you? The writer doesn't know you the reader doesn't know you besides what you write. All right, and so make sure you represent yourself well. Is the script, so this is style, is the script linguistically sophisticated? All right, and that's sort of, we hitting that with when you say, is it mature? Right, those are the same questions really. That means when we say linguistically, we're talking about really grammar. So do you have a lot of grammar issues? Or does your subject and verb agree? That sort of stuff like that. Do you capitalize your pronouns? Um, do you have the periods where you need to have them? Do you have your question marks, your exclamation marks when it's needed? Do you use your commas appropriately, semicolon, all that stuff? Is it linguistically sophisticated? That's what we're trying to say. A style. All right. All right, so strong points and weak points for style. That's a question for y'all. Strong points and weak points for style.
1 to 5.
Oh my. Nancy, don't give yourself a fuss like that. 1 to 5 is you're strong or weak? Strong or weak?
1 week.
Weak, oh my goodness. Oh my.
You see, some people may be ashamed to admit it, but I'm going to admit it because I need to help.
You need help. Okay. Anyone else? Strong or weak points for style.
I would know when I try and get it graded.
Okay. Anyone else?
My
Strong.
rise in action. I put that so quick when it comes to narrative writing.
Oh, that's your weak point?
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's crazy. I hate that. Uh, anyone else? Strong or weak points for
number
style.
one.
Number one, yeah, it's vocabulary theory. Okay, so what could we do to increase or to get better at these things? What could we do to make sure our sentence structures are used properly, vocabulary varied? What should we do?
Well, one, you need to study
Um,
the words better.
read an
Yeah.
encyclopedia.
You can read.
Read, yeah.
Read
Two, you
something
gotta read.
interesting, though. Not so that boring because you're going to forget. Make, right, you know?
Yeah, I would
Something
say,
exciting. Something
yeah.
that you're interested in,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. And then you could write like what you see interesting, you write about.
Yes. Yes.
Make a diary.
Make a journal, yes.
Not
Journal.
like a book report or something, you know?
Yes.
Something.
Very, very good. Yeah, I'd say that what you could do, I mean, if you're preparing for an exam at this point, you should at least be learning 5 new words a day and their meanings, at least 5 new words daily, and that's at minimum. Um, Next thing you should be reading. Some people have the habit of reading dictionary. I would say read passages. Like I remember when we was doing the SAT practice. Um, I think I showed you all this site already. But the SAT practice, these things, the the writing here, like how they talk about, like for example, this one is on the strangeness of beauty. Like read stuff like this. Oh my goodness. Like from it, look at this. The French she'll peek at her face. Look at that. Like these things would have you like look at that maternal amusement. Look at that. That's writing at its best, man. What else we have? Unseemliness. So you'd read stuff like this, and any word you don't understand, you look it up in a dictionary. And what I like about these is that they are short and you could finish them. And what I hate about a book is that a book you could like, no, I shouldn't say you could never finish. Just it takes a little while, and that sense of completion that you would want, just to make you feel like okay, you've accomplished something, takes very long to get. That's why I like reading these, so that I could be like, okay, I actually finished something, I actually complete something, and I learned some new words in the process. So good. And then I could answer some quick um questions based on them, and I could. And then you do them, and it have multiple passages, right? Look at this. Asymmetric beliefs about gifts and feelings and appreciation. I love this. Like, these are stuff, man. You go inside the exam talking about asymmetric. They'll be like, you talking about? Like, very good. These are very good passages that I really recommend when you try and improve your vocabulary.
This may sound asinine, but
Mm-hmm.
what if you use a whole different language?
Maybe you use a whole different. Why would you use a whole different language? I
Like
don't.
me, I'm more like
Oh boy. I mean, hey, this is English language, so I mean, you could use it sparingly, 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 you know. But all that shows is that you know another language well. I don't mean nothing about your English skills. But I mean, I guess you can use it to make a point, you know. But yeah. Uh, okay, good. Number 3. I hope we get to finish all 3 today. I want to finish all 4. So let's see how fast we can get through this. Number 4, we're going to speed through this. Number 4 is one of the most important ones, in my opinion. So after you know that your content is good, after you know that your style is good, what do you think you need to figure out focus on for your essay?
Information.
Consistency.
Information, consistency. We already look at our information in our content. It'd be inappropriate.
Interest?
You like your idea or like how to form the essay or bring it to life, I guess, or something?
I mean, that's a part of, is it interesting?
No, I mean like joining them, like joining everything together.
Joining everything together. It start with A.
Authenticity.
Authenticity. Nope. Not really. No, not originality, no. ACC.
A core or something.
Accountability.
No.
Accuracy.
Very good accuracy.
Yeah, you know I good at those riddles, right? Hey, download that.
That's good. That's good. Unscrambling words is also good too, I hate unscrambling words, but unscrambling words is very good at helping you with with spelling. Unscrambling words. It may sound boring and a headache, but if you get a good practice on unscrambling words, you'll be a very good you'll be very good.
I'll try it out.
Yeah.
I also had this person in my class who had cue cards, right? And she put a bunch of words and descriptions on her cue card, and she had like a pile of ones that she didn't know and one that she know. She looked at the ones that she didn't know more, and as she began to know them, she put them in the pile that she know. So she flipped through the pile that she knows. Once a day or once a week, I'll see her flip through them. And honestly, when I see this girl in language and I'm marking up paper, I'd be blown away with her vocabulary. So
Wow.
that's
Wow.
a
That's amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good personal development tip. You have to care.
Sound like she have good mentors.
If you don't care, no one cares for you. You have to care. You have to be your greatest stakeholder of your life. All right? You are the greatest stakeholder of your entire life.
Now you sound like David Goggins now.
Oh my.
Like he really big on that. Like if you don't do it, no one else could do it.
You got that right. And even if they do it, they wouldn't do it as much as you would do it for yourself, eh? Because they ain't dying their life. Alright, so is the grammar accurate? I mean, and we shouldn't expect no one to care for us more than we care about ourselves. Has the candidate moved beyond the basics? For example, simple tenses, to more complex structures. Number 2 is the pronunciation accurate? Tell her wrong. Has it been used to enhance the style? If used, is speech accurately punctuated? Word usage?
Was it petite? How much it is?
Pardon?
How much different things it is?
Just 4.
Mm.
And precise. Have rest.
When you finish, I'd like to take a picture of some, please, because I think it's.
Have rest been taken? Okay.
You know, I think about when I think about all of this,
Mm-hmm.
like they thinking about all this while they talking, and that Jonathan Peterson guy.
Yeah. A
I
beast.
think like he thinking about all this while he's speaking.
While he's speaking. No, I don't believe that. I think that when you become a beast like Jordan Peterson, it comes naturally. Like you don't like, oh, I have to. No, it's just like you just know. It may sound arrogant, but it's not arrogant. It's like once you know how to ride a bike, you don't focus on how to ride a bike. You know, for example, for people who know how to drive, like when you crisscrossing and doing the little reverse and going the little cut, then you don't be thinking like, oh, this is how I do. Let me raise the right leg first, press the brakes, let it roll. Don't press gas, just let it roll off of off of no gas. Just take your foot off the brakes. Like one of my I remember my I remember someone who just learning how to drive. They come to me like they're like, oh boy. He say, wow, I finally know how you're supposed to drive. He say, hey, you don't press gas. What you do is you just let go of brakes. And in my mind, I'm like, I never really like that. Don't usually be in my mind. Only since he say it, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you do let go of the brakes. I'm like, yeah, we already know that. Like, it ain't something that we, people who drive, something like we think about. Like, it's just you just gas, let go, like turn, it ain't like you thinking about that. You know what I mean? I promise you, while I driving, I thinking about something else. I in another part of the world. I thinking about class. I thinking about how to drive. And so it's the same thing. Once you know how to ride a bike, you ride a bike. You know what I mean? Once you know how to write, you write. And so with Jordan Peterson, I think he's read so much and he's written so much till he speak in that framework.
What are they?
Yeah. Oh, you don't know Jordan Peterson? You don't know Jordan Peterson?
No, I'm sorry.
Jordan Peterson?
Or do I?
What?
Oh
What?
boy.
The greatest of all time. Let's see. Let me see if I have Jordan Peterson on my stuff already. No? Yeah, Jordan Peterson. Everybody knows Jordan Peterson.
I Google it already. I see.
Yeah, Jordan Peterson. He is 12 Roots for Life. This guy.
You look goofy.
Okay, he look goofy. You need to hear him talk. Oh my goodness. Just hear something. Whatever you hear. Doesn't matter. Um Jordan Peterson, he is a dictionary, encyclopedia, well articulated. Um,
Where do you see your motivational speeches and stuff?
yeah, motivation and life purpose and meaning. He's a clinical psychologist. He does those sort of stuff. Um,
Of course, he's Canadian.
he's a Canadian.
Canadian as well.
Yeah. All right. So let's continue. Let's go back. But very good representation of varied vocabulary. I mean, just listening to him, is another way to improve your vocabulary, to be honest.
Yeah, you gotta be pausing this video, just
Gotta
look up the
look up
things
the
he's saying.
word, look up the meaning, you know. All right, have paragraphs been used to how paragraph been used. Paragraphs been used. Oh, that's very important. Use paragraphs in your essay. That's a part of structure and organization. How much paragraphs in general?
5.
5.
Cinco. Yes, ma'am. 5. Are
And
they?
that include like the conclusion.
Yeah. So introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and then conclusion. So are they haphazard or purposeful? So you don't just want to make new paragraphs. You want to use them for a reason. So introduction, like I said, 3 body paragraphs, and then conclusion. And we have are their paragraphs linked together. So are there paragraphs linked? So we talk about transitional words. So are transitional words phrases and sentences used? 3. Does the essay have overall unity? Like can I clearly see at the end of your essay what you was talking about at the beginning, or by the time you reach to the end, you're talking about something else? Is there overall unity? And 4, is there?
You using a book to get this information on?
No, I use in my head. I use my head, man. No, it's not a book. It's something that I got from when I was in high school, and I'm using it now.
Oh.
Yeah. Is there a clear and effective start and finish? Good. So when we are marking, we'll be looking at how good is your material, how good is your style, how good is your accuracy, and how good is your structure. If all these pieces are put together well, you can be sure that the A is yours, the B is yours. Okay? Any questions for me?
You could scroll up like a take a few screenshots.
Hold on, I'm not done yet. 1 minute.
1 minuto.
Now that's my issue there, or the last one.
The last one. Is it clear?
No,
Is there a clear and effective start and finish?
no, like it start off well with the introduction,
Yeah.
and it gradually get worse and worse, and I don't see it. Oh
Yes.
no,
Yeah. Until you look back and you be like, what?
till I get the grid.
Till you get the grade. Oh wow. Well, with that, just to make sure that we talked about before, make sure that each sentence is coherent. And what I mean by coherent is that um there is a link from sentence to sentence so that you wouldn't get off topic. And so that's why it's also important to plan too before you write. So you could so before you start writing, you can know, you could figure and identify what parts actually should be in this essay. And so you don't want to mess up in the plan. Once your plan is all right, you don't have to spend too much time thinking about what's going to be included, because your plan is going to tell you, and you speak about it and you explain it, but make sure it still connects to the main point. And so, is there a clear and effective start and finish? And then is there overall unity between everything? That's important.
So, Miss Pretty, as you go on this journey, like, do you just start omitting certain words from your vocabulary?
No, you don't omit words. You don't omit words because sometimes that's why they say varied vocabulary, right? Varied vocabulary doesn't mean that only sophisticated language is used. Varied vocabulary just means you know when to use certain words. Like sometimes there's no better appropriate word to use than the small words, because the small words have a certain sting or a certain ring to it that would be better at that time. And then sometimes it's more better to use a more sophisticated word. But as you improve with your language, you'll be able to know, like, when should I use this more sophisticated one, or when should I just use a shorter sentence just to get the point more succinctly and more concise. Um, so you don't even omit words from the vocabulary. Keep them. You build. It's like a building block. All right. Anyone else or anything else? Go ahead, go. All right. If that's it, we're gonna call it.
I get the screenshots, please.
No problem. We're gonna call it good night for tonight. Please, tomorrow is class. It's our last day. Make sure that you come, even though I might not send this link directly to you. Still know that it's the same link.